The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has no superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white, except by piety and good action. Learn that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that Muslims constitute a brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim, unless it was given freely and willingly."
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Not my issue. Can you buzz off?
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
The Dean's List Podcast.
Hello and welcome everyone to episode 8 of the Dean's List Podcast. It's your boy Yunus and I have with me Bilal, Ali and Muhammad. We also have our producer Ahmed on scene. And before I start this week's episode, I would like to give a shout out to our listeners on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube and Google Podcasts. And I'd also like to give a shout out to our followers on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. If you're not following us already, please check us out at DLPcast if you're not following. And we're going to get this show on the road. So Ali started us off with a quote of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And I'm pretty sure we all know why this quote was chosen for this week's episode, with the unfortunate news of the passing of George Floyd due to police brutality. And it's been an unfortunate time, and this is not the first time where something like this happens. Unfortunately, black people and visible minorities have been oppressed and abused in this world, all over the world, for it seems like forever. And I think it's time that we all start looking in the mirror and ask ourselves if we are also to blame, because we standing aside doing nothing, seeing oppression is unacceptable. If we see something wrong, at the very least we should at least speak out about it. And I hope that through this podcast, this episode, we can at least try to shed some light on what's going on, and also send our thoughts to those who are being affected. Our thoughts to the family of George and anyone else being oppressed around the world due to this issue of racism. So boys, how are you guys doing?
Doing good. Just just going on what you said, like a lot, racism is still, an ongoing issue, not just in America, but around the world, where everywhere you go, you'll have people being oppressed just based on their color of their skin or their religion or what they believe in, or even like it goes down to political ideology. People are being oppressed because of that as well. And it just, it's like, because it's so close to home and happening in America, that's why we're so exposed to that. And not to diminish what's happening down there, but you have like other parts of the world where people are being, killed, and people are being arrested for no reason. People are being stranded on boats just because they're from a different, ethnicity. You have just so much, all this negative happening. And then you go back to what Ali mentioned here in the cold open about if we take the simple approach of that, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us about how, no Arab is better than an Arab or non-Arab, and a non-Arab is not better than an Arab, and a white is not better than a black, and a black is not better than a white. And once we break that into, our hearts on a humanity scale, that's the only way we, break racism, is to look at another person as your brother. And I know, like in that hadith, it says a Muslim brother, but there's also another hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ saying that all of humanity are brothers and sisters. And one story does come to mind of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Once he was sitting with his companions, and a funeral was coming by, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, stood up out of respect. And the companions were like, "Why are you standing up? That's a Jew Jewish funeral, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied to them, "But aren't they not our brothers in humanity, or isn't not another human?" And it just shows like how much Islam could give compassion and understanding to different races and religion. And I think that that's the only way to break it. And that's my opinion of it. The 2 cents is that we look at how the Prophet, peace be upon him, and how Islam deals with racism and deals with giving out justice, and nobody's above the law.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that think that ever since the abolishment or the so-called abolishment of slavery, that things have gotten better for visible minorities in the world. Do you guys think that's true?
No, definitely not. I think, like what Bilal was saying, there's definitely a problem with this world when it comes to racism and oppression in all parts of the world. And I think now, with social media, and actually, I think it was Will Smith who he said a quote the other day, and it was something like, "Racism hasn't gotten worse, it's just getting filmed now." I think that's what the quote was, and I think it's very true, because racism hasn't gone away, and now racism is just, it's blowing up on Twitter, on Instagram, and people can actually see what black people in the US have to go through. And I think it's very heartbreaking to see, especially with the video of George Floyd all over social media. It's very heartbreaking to see what people are going through. And honestly, I think their outrage, and like they want their voices to be heard. And I think it's just a shame how the system is against them.
Yeah, just another thing with the George Floyd situation and how they're doing the protest. Just the way that they're doing it, I don't know. Like with the whole looting and burning down stuff. I don't know. What are you guys' opinions on that?
It's a tough situation to be in, man, cuz like I like that quote that Ali mentioned, like that racism hasn't increased, it's always been there. It's just now that it's being filmed and now it's out in the open. I'll use myself as an example. I have a lot of black friends, and there's times where, whether it's on social media or in person or something, I would hear and see things that maybe I thought was a little bit harsh, right? And I'm talking, what I mean by harsh, like the other day I saw a post on social media just pretty much using like profanity to kind of cuss out cops, and like just a general blanket statement kind of thing, because of the police brutality that's happening. And like, I'll be honest, at first I'm like yes, what's happening is horrible, and we'll never ever support or stand for police brutality. At the same time, though, there are good people who really are trying to protect the public, and I think some of those people might be wronged if we just use general blanket terms and just kind of paint everyone with the same brush. With that being said, though, we're not the ones that are facing it, right? And this has been an ongoing problem for generations, and probably even like millenniums by now. So it's something that we definitely have to respect, but it's also something that we have to work towards fixing. It's like, we can't keep sitting on the side and just keeping things status quo. So yes, the protests are happening. No one should be in support of any form of violence. No one should be in support of vandalism or anything like that. Like, I personally don't think that's the answer. At the same time, I can understand why people are resorting to that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Like, if a lot of people are like calling them out and like looking at one side of the issue, and like they're taking away they're taking looting and the riots as like they're taking away from the main issue that's happening. They're like, oh, look at what's happened, they're looting, the rioting. It's like, yeah, but that's not the issue. The issue is the systematic racism that's happening in America and all around the world. Like, if you guys are tired of the rioting and the racism, make sure that everybody is equal, and like go out of your way to make sure everybody's equal. This makes no sense that like, okay, we're gonna occupy, or we're gonna put down a certain race of people and a certain religion or a certain this, and then you expect nothing to come out of it. There's going to be a form of resistance, whether you agree with that form or not, but that form is going to come out. And as I've been mentioning to you guys in the production meeting, that different type of resistance happen at different stages, right? So like the best type of resistance, in my opinion, is to protest, is to show that, they're not going to sit down and like have lynching happening and just like, oh, well, it was an like quote unquote accident or just because he was doing his job and whatnot. But that's not true. But if the more and more people come out and show that, no, we're against this, hopefully that starts to deteriorate the overwhelming, idea that it's okay for this to happen. Like I know for a fact, like if this happened in the 60s or 70s, like there won't be this kind of a reaction, right? So it's good that there is a reaction, but as Muhammad said, sometimes going overboard is not the right answer. But at the same time, that shouldn't be taken away from the issue of racism or the problem of racism that's happening.
Yeah, and like another thing is, like for us as Muslims, I find that a lot of us focus so much on what is permissible, what is not permissible, what can we do as Muslims, what can we not do as Muslims, which I personally, like that's a whole topic on its own. I don't want to get into that. Personally, I'm not a big fan of thinking about religion in that sense. But just for the sake of conversation here, like we always think about classic impermissible things, like for example, drinking or doing drugs or smoking or eating pork is a big one. Like you'll find Muslims that smoke, no problem. You'll find Muslims that may even drink, no problem. But when it comes to like eating pork, like, oh no way, bro, like I can't do that. It's haram, like it's impermissible and stuff, right? But then, I mean, when it comes to issues of social issues like racism and other similar type problems that we have in our societies, we don't see the same kind of urgency, right? And I think that's a problem within us. Like that's kind of what I was alluding to in the beginning of the podcast. Like we got to start looking in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we a part of the problem or are we a part of the solution, right? And I think the least that we can do is to at least say something, whether we're using our social media platforms, whether it's sharing a post, whether it's us, what we're doing with this podcast right now, do something. If you're in the supermarket or you're in line at Costco or wherever you are, and like sometimes you hear some jerks talking to other people and saying things that they should not be saying, how do we respond? And it's our response to those situations that really tells us if we are doing the right thing or if we're part of the problem.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I just think, like going back to the rioting, I think a big part about it, and a lot of people kind of overlook it, is like at the end of the day, they just want to be heard. They want their frustration to be seen, and they want everyone to know why they're doing it. And it's like Bilal was saying, it's not about the burning down stores and the looting. Like it's about the main issue and the reason behind it and why they're doing it. And like personally, I don't have like a problem with it. I think what they're doing is, if they're not going to be heard by silent protesting, then I think this is like obviously going too far might affect them. But I just think that there's been too many instances where this has happened, like police brutalities. I even want to call it police brutality. I want to call it murder because that's essentially what it is. Yeah. And I think there's too many problems that's happened. I think it's time now where the frustration has just gone overboard. And I mean, hopefully it gets better soon, and hopefully we can all kind of do our part to make it a better place. But I don't know. It's really tough what's going down there right now.
I feel like another factor that really played with like them rioting and just kind of being fed up like in general was also with the murder of I don't remember his name, the jogger.
Ahmed Arbery.
Yeah, I feel like that just kind of like after that, and then also this now.
Yeah, kind of like went back to back kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like it just happened like it's almost two of them in like 2 months. So I feel like it really built up for everybody, and it's not just in Minneapolis either. They're doing it everywhere now.
Yeah, it's
in Atlanta.
The protests are going all over the country.
Yeah, and like you mentioned one name. The other one is Eric Garner. The man that was selling like loose cigarettes or something. And
how long ago was it? That was long ago?
That was a little while ago, a couple years ago.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that was in 2017. The end of so pretty much the beginning of 2018. It was December 30, 2017. He was killed at the age of 27. And like it was, again, another clear-cut incident. The guy's literally saying, I can't breathe. And the police wouldn't let off. So it's a big problem. But like I want to go back to this whole like the protesting, and right now at this point it's almost become rioting at this point. Do you guys think? Do you guys see that video of those the police surrounding that one house, protecting the man?
The man?
They're outside his house, right?
Yeah, they were like there's people trying to stop any violence from happening to him or his family. Or whatever.
Which house? Whose house?
The cop. That
Cop.
The actual cop or
yeah.
the okay?
Yeah, and I was just like a question just popped in my head. Like right now, if this guy was to be seen in public alone, or let's keep it this guy. If he was to be seen in public alone, do you guys think he'd be safe?
Definitely not.
No.
And do you think, like, looking back in our history or any like just the history of the world, can you think of many leaders? Let's not talk about cops right now, just leaders in general, where whether it's a president or a prime minister or someone like that, who if they were to be seen outside with no bodyguards, no protection, no nothing, that like this person would be completely safe around their people?
No one
No
now.
one.
Definitely not.
Maybe
no.
Trudeau.
No.
Even
No,
Trudeau.
no.
I don't think so.
Trudeau
Trudeau
is not
stepped.
safe.
No.
Or
There's no way.
what's her name? The New Zealand lady.
Oh yeah, I forget. Actually, I should search her name.
Yeah, like she stepped out, she'd be fine.
Yeah, should be fine.
But how rare is that though? That,
Very
like,
rare.
No, I really like that prime minister, New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the name right now, but
It's a prime minister. It's not a president in New
Oh.
Zealand.
it's a prime minister. Sorry.
That's why Ahmed's our fact checker.
You never even knew that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna butcher this name or not. Jacinda Ardern. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jacinda
That
Ardern.
sounds about right.
Yeah, so like, but again, so rare. But then this reminds me of the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, who was the second rightly guided caliph. Does anyone know the story of him being found sleeping in public?
No, just go ahead and say it.
So once there was a delegate sent from Rome looking for the leader of the Muslims for a meeting of some sort. And they went to his house. They couldn't find him in the house. They went to the mosque. They couldn't find him in the mosque. So they went and asked the public, like, where's your leader? Where's Umar? And some man pointed in one direction, said, he's over there. He's like sleeping behind under the tree in the shade. So this Roman delegate goes to Umar looking for him, thinking he's just going to be like, sitting with men around him and stuff. And he sees Umar, the leader of the Muslims, arguably the most powerful man in the world at that time, sleeping in broad daylight, no bodyguards, no protection, no nothing. And he was amazed. He was shocked because, like we mentioned, like it's so rare to have a leader who can like publicly be seen with no protection and just be safe and feel that sense of security because they've done no wrong to their people, right? So he looks at him and he said something amazing. He says, "Hakamta fa'adalta fa'aminta fa'nimta." He says, you ruled, but you were just with the way that you ruled your people. And because of your justice, you earned your security from your people, and that's what allowed you to have the safety to sleep in the open like that. If you look at like someone like Trump, for example, if he was to be sleeping out in broad daylight like that, I mean, it wouldn't be a good idea.
No, definitely not.
No, there's a lot of leaders I could list off from you that
Yeah,
like,
100%.
it's not, but the thing is, it's like it just goes back to how people like are trying to blame what's it called? Just blaming the rioters and stuff like that, but it's not their fault. It's the system's fault, right? Like if Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu wasn't just and was oppressing people and whatnot, he would not be able to sleep there.
Yeah.
Even though he was assassinated, but he wasn't assassinated because he was being oppressive. He was assassinated because he was good, right? And the person that assassinated him was mad that he couldn't oppress anymore, right? Because the one that assassinated him used to be a Persian general, and he used to have slaves and stuff. But when he got captured and he lost all that, that's when he had the plot to kill Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhum. And that goes back into, as I was saying, that if the people don't want people to rise up, you have to be good to those people. You cannot, as I said, oppress and accept no reaction. So that's what I think, that it goes down to all of society, and then also goes on to us. All of us have some sort of responsibility. There be responsibility towards our parents, responsibility to our siblings, responsibility to our community as a whole. That if we're being oppressive and we're not being fair and just, people will not accept you or respect you, and you're gonna always be on your toes and stuff. So that's my 2 cents from that story.
Yeah. Any other comments, guys?
Oh.
Yeah. So like, I think I don't wanna talk about this for too long. The biggest thing is, guys, let's learn, let's educate ourselves on the situation. Let's learn the names of these people who are being oppressed and murdered in cold blood. Let us do our part in any way possible, even if it's just within yourself, sending your thoughts and prayers to these people. Do something, and let's this generation. I really do believe that this coming generation could be the leaders of change, the leaders of positive change in the world. And it's up to us to kind of take the flag and do our part. One thing I want to talk about now, like just in terms of racism in general, I really love this story specifically in terms of how Islam views racism. And I'm not going to talk about a verse from the Quran. I'm not going to talk about a saying of the Prophet, peace be upon him. I want to talk about the best friend of the Prophet, peace be upon him. His name is Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr was once, he saw Bilal ibn Rabah, who was an Ethiopian slave at the time. And he was described as being a man with like very, very dark skin, a man who was, weak because of the oppression that he received from his master. And all of, this guy just, he pretty much hit rock bottom because of the way he was being treated and the torturing he was going through because he accepted the religion of Islam. So Abu Bakr, he felt bad. The Prophet, peace be upon him, felt bad. So they went, and Abu Bakr actually went to the owner, quote unquote owner of Bilal, and he said, how much would you sell Bilal to me for? And the owner said 10 gold coins. And then Abu Bakr, without even hesitating or trying to haggle or bargain, he went home, got the 10 gold coins, and he gave them to the man. And then the man was laughing, saying, even if you were to haggle with me, I would have sold you to him for 1 gold coin. And Abu Bakr, he didn't want to Bilal's hearing all of this, right? It's embarrassing. He's being embarrassed even as he's being set free. So Abu Bakr stands up and says, if you were to haggle with me, I would have paid 100 gold coins for Bilal, because that's how special he is to us as Muslims. And then not once did he ever make Bilal felt like he was in debt to him. Umar ibn Khattab used to say that Abu Bakr is our master and he freed our master, speaking about Bilal. The Prophet, peace be upon him, when they went back to Mecca for the peaceful protest, the peaceful conquest of Mecca, when the Muslims surrounded the Kaaba, the holy mosque, he called for Bilal to stand on the sacred building. This is the building that Arabs idolized for years and years and years. He called upon that man who was enslaved to these people to stand and call the call to prayer. Just look at the honor that was given to Bilal. And he's not the only one. There were so many others like him who were oppressed in the days of ignorance, and then Islam came to free them from that oppression. So I don't want to turn this into a lecture. I think we drove the point home. But again, if we study our history, we study our tradition, and we start learning from the examples of our Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions, and we start taking those examples and implementing them into our own lives, we will be better people, and we can help make this world a better place.
Oh, definitely, man. And I like that symbolism of Bilal ibn Rabah, who was like an African, and because he was, as Muhammad said, he was really, really, really dark. That symbolism of him going on top of the Kaaba, it just shows you that nobody is above anybody in Islam, right? The Kaaba is probably the most holiest site for Muslims on earth, and Bilal ibn Rabah was on top of the Kaaba giving the adhan call to prayer, and that just shows the symbolism, and that should break in everybody's heart that we all have friends from different races and different countries. Sometimes we just we joke around about that, but always keep that in mind, that sometimes the recipient isn't always on the is accepting it. He maybe is accepting it just because he's letting it slide and stuff. So let's not get into the habit of making race jokes with each other, or what's it called, making fun of different countries and stuff in front of each other. So
that's a big thing, man. That's a big thing. Honestly, we're gonna get into a little bit more pop culture here, but and some people might think I'm taking it a little bit too far, but I don't listen to music, right? But there's times where there's tracks that are on, and I'm not gonna plug my ears. Honestly, I get bothered when I hear tracks that have excessive profanity or excessive use of racial slurs or anything like that. And man, if you look at the market, this is what people are listening to, right? And people they're like, oh, that rap was sick, or that song was so sick, or whatever. And it's almost like we're idolizing this stuff. But I really feel like that's also part of the problem, right? We got to start taking a stance and just sacrificing, those few songs that we may enjoy for the sake of the greater good. You know, it's anything we do, you stop buying that song on iTunes or whatever. You know, let people know that we're not gonna support this whatever you want to call it anymore because we're better than this. You know. But yeah. So, how was your guys' weekend?
How was my weekend?
Did you guys play tennis today? You guys could barely walk.
Yeah, me and Adi actually went and played tennis this
That's pretty cool.
right in the beginning of this afternoon. Actually,
Nice invite, man.
sorry.
Honestly, Eunice, you can come next time because
I don't think Adi's ever gonna play again. Though.
I can't play with Muhammad ever again.
No, you just can't play.
Is it
Yeah.
because
General.
Muhammad's not good, or
You know what?
Muhammad,
think-
I'll serve
tell-
the ball.
can I just tell you
I'll
guys a
serve
story?
the ball
Okay,
and
wait,
like
let's go on.
okay. I'll serve the ball.
Okay,
and
can I say something before?
Dude, you just interrupted him again.
I know, but can I say something?
Okay,
Because
say
it doesn't
something.
matter.
Okay, say
Okay,
something.
fine. Whatever.
So just a little backstory. Ali used to live in Qatar in grade 2. Okay, and
When
while
he
in
was
Qatar,
in grade 2.
when he was in grade 2, yeah. While he was living there, he actually took tennis lessons. Believe it or not. Actually, I'm not surprised. Anyways, okay,
You were pretty
continue,
rich.
though.
Dude,
I just want to let people
that
know that
was-
he used to take tennis lessons.
That was like 15 years ago,
Literally, it
though.
was literally 15
okay.
years
Still,
ago.
Yeah, but that's in your ether of your memory. You're
Yeah.
not gonna lose, like riding
I
your
played
bike.
ice
You're never
hockey.
gonna-
How long ago? And look how good I am now.
You're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
good.
you're not
Literally
good.
third
You
on the
still
team in
suck.
points.
That's because you're
Shout out
because
to
of the
Jihad
line that
for
you're
hot
on. It's because of the line that you literally you just stand for
I'm
a minute and they,
literally-
like, bounce pucks
yeah,
off of you.
well,
Muhammad,
Zach
I
Cassian-
He doesn't
I
do
can
anything,
literally
just-
put my cat on that line and they'll get just as much points as you.
Okay,
lot of,
so tell
lot of
everyone how
hurtful
today.
comments.
Tell everyone today how bad I beat you today in tennis.
First of all, I actually got more wins than him. That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
and
well, the other guy we're
second
playing
of all,
with
the
sucks.
the wins that he got, I would serve the ball and it would be clearly inbounds, and he'd be like, "Oh
No.
no, that was out of bounds."
I
was
did
out of
that
bounds."
once, and it was out.
It was twice.
And
'cause
even
you also
Udat
did it
said
to
it
our
was
friend
out.
too. No, Udat had no idea what was going on. Udat wasn't.
He literally
looking.
said it was out.
Uda is one of our friends.
Yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is, if you guys want to come watch me beat him in tennis, you guys can. But yeah, we did play tennis today. And I'm actually
It was actually a good workout. I'm
before
not gonna
this
lie.
this podcast, I was actually looking for like a new headband
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my hair was getting in my face.
It must be nice to have luscious hair.
Literally wearing a
Yeah.
Lululemon.
Yeah, I was
It
wearing
was literally your sister's
I was
Lululemon.
literally
headband.
wearing my sister's purple Lululemon headband. So yeah,
Oh, God.
but I don't know. Well,
I was actually shocked at how bad you are. You're usually good at sports, but
okay, it's funny because I actually did get the most wins today, but whatever.
I beat you
We'll
more.
Scoreboard.
I beat you
Wait,
way more
how
today.
can you beat
No,
him?
we
you
did
while
King's
you got more
Court.
You
wins?
did not beat me.
Every time I
more.
played Ali, I would beat him.
You did not. That is so
His
false.
swing
Oh,
sucks.
so you had multiple
His serve
plays.
is
Okay.
so bad. It's unbelievable.
Who do you guys believe?
Listen? Ali serves like he's
I don't know,
Rafael
Hamdan.
Nadal. and
So
he's
wait,
not.
if you're playing King's Court,
Yeah.
okay, which I'm
We
assuming
had
you
3
were.
guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're playing King's Court. If Ali's saying he got the most wins,
Yeah.
it means he must have beat you enough to like be the king
No.
of the court for today.
Yeah,
I don't think you beat me more today.
1000% I did.
Okay, the first couple games we played did not count.
Okay. Well,
Why did
There
they
you
not
go.
Because
count?
I don't play tennis.
neither
doesn't
do
matter.
I. I haven't played tennis in 15 years.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you're just making excuses, Hamdan.
Whatever.
Just-
Next week will be better.
Go
anyone
on.
wants to come play with us, tennis.
We use sports. You're probably pretty good at that since you're an athlete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I'm good at every sport on there.
I
If
found
anyone would like to join me and Adi playing tennis,
Of
Oh,
more than
man.
welcome.
the
Londonderry-
crowds
to join-
next week.
Londonderry tennis court. Be there.
What time?
I literally
Saturday at 12:30.
there was a point because we don't really know the rules that much, but Adi hit the ball and it touched the line, and I had to go ask the European.
No,
guys
he
beside
did. He
us.
didn't have to go ask. I said I said I will Google it.
There's a bunch of pro athletes there, like these European guys were there playing, and I literally stopped their game to ask them the rules,
And then
we looked like the biggest. Like, I
No,
looked like the
yeah.
biggest idiot after.
and it was funny because as I was walking away, they just all started
They all
laughing.
started
I'm like,
laughing
oh
at
my
me.
god.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
That's the worst, asking people for things. Like,
no,
You know how last week
I like asking.
my pump broke down. I have no tools in the house, so my dad went to the next door neighbor to get the. So hey, can we borrow the
That's
wrench? It
awkward.
was the
I would never
worst.
ask my
I'm
neighbor.
like, can we just go buy one?
Yeah,
He's like,
I would
no.
go buy one before I ask my neighbor for
That's
tools.
what I wanted to do so bad, but my
Well, it
dad's
depends.
like,
If you know,
nah.
like I know both my neighbors, but
I think
Shout out
I
my
think I would
neighbors.
ask if I needed something.
if
like-
I knew my neighbors, yeah. But Bilal doesn't talk to his neighborhood at all.
They wave at me. I just like stare them down, walk in my
Yeah,
house.
and you
No,
drive
I'm
your
joking.
truck in your
There. I
garage.
got them Eid gifts. Look, I sold the guy is next door. See?
Did you actually?
Yeah, look, I had 2
Wow.
sweet trays over there. I gave one yesterday. The next guy, I think he's on vacation. His truck is not in the driveway or anything, so I'm waiting till he comes back.
Thanks for
That's
my
very nice of
I'd
you.
give.
No, that is. Like, shout out to being good to your neighbors.
I am
That's
good,
awesome.
dude.
That's
I'm
actually,
just trying to update my image. I got a lot of flack from that story last week. A lot of people
You're
were
supposed to
not
respect your
impressed.
neighbors, aren't you?
100%.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's,
there's-
you have to, yeah.
Even there's a hadith, like a tradition of the Prophet,
Yeah.
peace be upon him, saying that you should even take care of your 7th neighbor, like up to your 7th. So go to your house, count 7 houses on each side. All of those deserve some form of right from you in terms of respect or favors or whatever. If you want to be good to your neighbors.
Even if they're not Muslims, by the way.
Yeah. This goes to
Everybody,
any horse.
every neighbor,
Yeah.
every neighbor.
Like the other day, this was I think 2 days ago. I went home and I'm walking. I usually enter my house through the back door, so I walked into the backyard, and I see like my fence is literally on the ground. I'm like, what the heck is happening? Like it's an old fence. It needs to be repaired and stuff like that. But anyways, I put it back up temporarily, like until I get a proper fix. And, throughout the whole time, like I talked to, I think 3 or 4 of my neighbors, asking for advice on which company to go with, or what should I do here, what should I do with that. And, they'd be offering their help in other ways and stuff. I think it's just good to get to know your neighbors and try to build that relationship with them,
My neighbor thought I was dead. Because when the quarantine first happened, like it was fresh. And then even if you guys remember, it was snowing for like a couple days. And then I was at home. I'm like, okay, I don't have to go anywhere. Everything's closed. And I was working from home. And then like no tire marks were coming in and out for like 3-4 days. And then I was working. And all of a sudden I heard a knock on my door. And it was my neighbor. He was like, hey, I just seen that you never left your house for a few days. I was wondering if you're okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing just fine, man. Thanks for the lookout. He's like, yeah. Well, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. And he just walked away. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
Well, actually, it's pretty cool. That's very nice of him.
Imagine he breaks down the door. I'm just at the bottom of my staircase, just all mangled.
Let's not imagine that.
Just right there. I was telling my mom that she freaks out.
I actually had
Why would
Amazon.
you say that to your mom? Like,
I like seeing reactions.
actually, I can agree with that to a certain extent. Not when it comes to stuff like that. That's kind of harsh.
No, I built it up. It's not like I came out of the fences like that. I built up the.
No, like today, my mom was telling me like your eye looks so red or something, and she's like, "Does it hurt?" I'm like, "No, it doesn't hurt." She's like, "If you touch it, does it hurt?" So I went and I started like touching both my eyes, but like I was purposely poking my eye like a little harder than I should be, just to try to get a reaction out of her, because she usually does give me a reaction for that. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like messing around is fun.
Every time we're in public, and then like I barely have cash, but then when I do and I'm paying cash, my mom's like, "How do you have cash?" I'm like, "I'm a drug dealer." She laughs.
She laughs, dude. My mom would actually believe me.
Yeah, well.
She'd like be like, "Mohammed, are you serious? Anjad, it's for real. Who are you hanging out with?" Like, start giving me.
My mom gets allowance every month, so she doesn't care where I get the money.
That's
One time I had heartburn pills, and my sister actually gave me them. Anyways, they were in my nightstand, and my mom saw them, and she texted me. I was at school. She's like literally freaking out, and like the pills look kind of weird. Like it's like pink and black, and she texted me. I'm
pretty sure that's ecstasy, man.
She texted me, and she's like in caps, like, "What are these? Like, come home now!" Like freaking out. And I told her, I was like they're heartburn pills.
Do they have like smiley faces on the back of them? That means something's
I
up.
told her they're heartburn pills, and she's like, "No, like, what are these? I've never seen these before." I was like, "Man, if I had drugs, I wouldn't put them on my nightstand.
Yeah.
That's too obvious."
Why would that be obvious?
Well, if you're hiding drugs from your parents, you
don't want to say it.
You want to
right
put it in
now.
the most obvious place in your nightstand.
Maybe in plain sight is the best place to put it.
Maybe.
Just put it with. Does your mom have like mint? Not a garden.
Yeah.
Every Arab does. Yeah, just put it there.
No.
She's making like shy, and she accidentally
I
puts.
should actually do that.
By the
way, you don't have drugs. I'm just joking.
I know,
but I'm gonna like.
Nobody here smokes. So I'm just saying.
Here at DLP, we do not
promote drug use.
Yeah. Speaking of drugs, what do you guys think of sports performance enhancing drugs?
Yeah,
Should
aren't
those
they
be
gonna start legal? Like you could smoke weed now?
Yeah, in the NFL.
NFL.
In NFL,
Yeah, but that's not sport
But
enhancing.
that's not sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, I thought that's what y'all.
like I'm talking like
Steroids. Steroids.
Oh, what the hell? I've
Yeah,
never
like
heard this.
no. I'm not talking that it's gonna become legal. I'm just saying, like, do you guys think it should be fair game for everyone to use if they wish to go down that road?
No.
Use steroids?
Yeah,
No.
it'll be fair game for everyone to use. You can choose whether or not you want to use it.
Well,
Nah.
Ivan Drogo in Rocky used steroids, but Rocky still beat him.
That's true.
Yeah, that's proper American propaganda. You think American could beat a Soviet Union?
Well, he did. The guy from Soviet Union did beat him.
Are you?
He beat Apollo Creed.
Who won World War
You
II?
didn't beat him.
Soviet Union.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, Ivan Drogo killed Apollo
He killed
Creed.
him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
killed him.
so he
He's like,
beat him.
throw the damn towel. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
Rocky's a movie.
Yeah, everyone, you should go
It's fake.
watch Rocky.
It's
not
not
real.
fake.
Okay,
It's
It's
not
not
real.
fake.
It's not fake.
Wrestling
Why
is not
does he have a
fake.
statue?
That's
It's
so
not
lame in
fake. No,
Philadelphia.
that's
That's
a
so
real
stupid.
movie.
Yeah.
But as I going to say, you know why it shouldn't be fair?
Why?
Because not all athletes want to do that to their body because it
Steroids
does.
not even good for you, is it?
No,
I
because
don't know
it
anything
doesn't.
about
It
this
doesn't
stuff.
have like the ones right now. Like I don't know in the future, but the ones right now have like non-reversible effects. You know what I mean? So not all athletes are under that impression. So like if you have, that's why you should have to play the playing field. Either you make everybody take steroids or you make no one take steroids. You can't have half and half. You know what I mean?
But then you're taking away choice from the athletes, right? So like that, if let's say you just make it fair game for everyone, and I'm not saying that I support the use of steroids. I'm just like for the sake of
I
argument.
could tell you've
here.
been wearing that tight shirt today.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
damn.
I'm trying to find a wife, so.
At Bilal Abdus' house, yep.
What?
So much sense being made.
But like, I mean, you're taking away the choice from the players. If they have, I mean, one can argue that they have the right to make that decision for themselves if they want. And if a league or sports league wants to take away that right from them, then they might say it's not fair.
But aren't steroids illegal in general?
No,
They're not?
not all of them.
Wait, you're talking about anabolics, like sports performance? I mean, there's some steroids that have that could have sports enhancing effects, but they're used for other reasons, like for like actual medical reasons that the body kind of relies on. You know what I mean? But I mean, in terms of just in general, in general, no. Like you can, especially for athletes that are signed to a team playing in a legitimate league, they're gonna get drug tested, and sometimes even like it's a harmless, like quote unquote harmless drug that's like meant for another condition, not meant for sports enhancement. Even those drugs are illegal, and the patient might need them for their own like physical well-being, but they can get caught on a drug screen for that.
Well, they were saying like I was saying earlier, like medical marijuana is gonna be like legal.
It is,
for
man.
No, not yet.
For players in sports.
No, in
For the
NFL.
Yeah, the NFL is
they're
gonna do it.
We can go in that direction.
I think there's another sport that actually does it right now.
Do they know why?
E-gaming? Do they?
Bro, they need to get off all that vape. They just vape those guys.
Oh, out of here, comedian. Drop out of school.
DLP, man, that's where you're at. Speaking of DLP dropping out of school, shout out to Jalal Hamdan for missing this recording so he could write an essay. Clearly does not believe in our trajectory on DLP.
Seriously, you gotta get your priorities straight.
And Jed.
But whatever.
Oh,
Yes.
what?
What?
What are you going to say?
I was gonna say, like, if someone brought up the adverse effects of steroids, I thought I'd become a nerd for a bit and just mention those.
And here
Adverse
comes here
effects.
comes science talk with
There we
Eunice.
go. Let's hear it.
Okay,
Skip
guys.
1 minute
So
and
the
30
reason
Here we
why
get it.
you
You're in
should,
med school. Go ahead.
okay. The reason why you should not take anabolic steroids, especially if you're an adolescent boy, Hamid, is
Harsh.
because it can result in delayed puberty. Also, hypogonadism. You can search that up yourself. Breast cancer in women, anemia, which means like you have less blood cells or less oxygen carrying content in your body. Osteoporosis, not good. Weight loss if you have HIV. I'm not gonna mention names.
You
Endometriosis.
saying somebody has HIV?
I'm not mentioning names.
Wow.
And, yeah, like it just messes up your hormones in many ways, and it's not good for you.
It
Don't
also
do it.
it also starts hair loss too, so you don't have to worry about that.
Why are you looking at me?
How do
How do you know it
talking?
wasn't because of that?
It's coming for you.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know, with you,
It is
because you're
coming
talking so much
from my
smack,
luscious
you know, with you can touch some. Because me, alhamdulillah, I'm balding from the front. You, it's coming from the back. You'll be the last one to know, bud. And I was going to tell you.
Whatever. I'm tall too, so
One
I
day-
get, no one will ever tell
Yeah,
me.
one day you're going to be like,
I'll
what?
just-
What did this happen? Oh, a while, but
I'll just go to Turkey.
yeah. When I went to Turkey, it's so funny because like you see like every like 5 guys have the plugs and they're walking around
Yeah.
blood
It's
dripping on
scary
their
to
head.
look
It's
at.
so disgusting. I think I have a picture.
It's actually very creepy to look
See if
at.
I can find it. I was just,
Would you ever do that?
no, obviously not. I just shave my head every week.
Can you imagine Bilal with hair?
No, because when I went to Hajj in 2014, that was the last time I had let my hair grow. Because when I went to Hajj and I shaved my head and had the beard, I'm like, I like this look,
It is
and I
good.
kept it.
It's okay.
I know,
I think
thanks.
I think I'm gonna grow my hair to my shoulders.
You have like good hair, man.
Thank you.
For now.
Yeah, well, let him.
Why are
Let
you
him
trying
enjoy
to
it.
jinx them?
Seriously.
Mm.
I was gonna. Speaking of athletes, I finished watching that Michael
Michael Jordan
Jordan. I just didn't watch it on Malone, but
Eunice, did you watch that?
I watched like I think.
you know
4
why
or
he
5
stopped watching
episodes.
it? You know why he stopped watching it? When he realized, wow, Michael Jordan's actually better than LeBron. He's like, nope, turn it
No,
off.
that's-
I can't
that's
let
not
it.
why.
He's actually.
I'll be honest,
yeah.
like I'm just like I like basketball. I like watching playoff basketball. Even some regular season games are fun, but like I'm not as interested in the sport. So I just didn't find the documentary as interesting.
I'm not
Don't get me
interested in
wrong.
the sport as much. Like I'm probably just like you. Like I love watching playoff, but that documentary was like it was insane.
It was a very good documentary.
It was actually it opened my eyes so much to Michael Jordan.
Bro, that guy was not human.
Yeah,
No,
I've
I-
honestly realized like he's probably
His
like the greatest
dedication and
NBA
stuff?
player to ever live.
Yeah, like I definitely gained a lot of respect for him. Like the guy was a gamer. The guy.
Oh yeah, is that what he was waiting on? Muhammad Yunus's respect.
100%. Means a lot.
Oh,
I've been waiting on it my whole life.
Yeah. I'm done.
He's still waiting. Keep waiting.
Still waiting. It's been like 10 years of friendship.
We're friends? What? Oh
my god.
Awkward.
No, but what I like about him is that his mentality of never like just never giving anything half. You know, like
Yeah.
it's 100, if not 110%.
He's literally he is literally the definition of giving it 110%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, honestly, his work ethic is unbelievable. Like the guy was literally coaching and playing, and like he was doing everything for that team, you know? So no, it's honestly like lots of respect for him and what he's done, but I mean, we can have different opinions on who's the greatest of all time. With that being said, look, with that being said, I'm gonna I have no problem with being standing corrected.
Mhm.
I will say, as of now, Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yes.
But I will also say that by the end of his career, LeBron James could take that title. He still has time. Okay. And personally, I look at, everyone brings up the playoff record, like the finals record specifically. Fine. Finals record, MJ is undefeated. That's great. LeBron is not. But you look at first round losses, LeBron has none, whereas MJ has lost in the first round a third of the time he's made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is a point against them.
How many rings does Michael Jordan have in total?
6.
How much does LBJ have?
I think it's 3?
3.
Yeah.
So,
3. Yeah, I think he's 3 for 9.
Yeah.
Let's look at
Tim Duncan is
God.
5 for
I'm
6.
not talking about
There we go.
this.
Exactly.
Next topic.
Tim Duncan is better than Kobe.
I love how we talk about basketball so much, but we're all hockey fans.
But no, it is because
hockey-
honestly,
because
basketball,
hockey fans don't know
hockey, like
anything, that's why.
honestly, you could relate to the basketball players. You can't relate to hockey players.
Why not?
Because you suck at hockey?
Yeah.
When are we gonna shut down this podcast? Like, you guys are really thin ice here.
Oh, man.
Everybody.
Wow.
If we had
No,
to,
no, I'll tell you why. Basketball, anybody could play basketball. Even if you
That's
suck,
not true.
shut
Have you ever
up.
seen Ahmed Khalid play basketball?
No, but he could. He doesn't have to. Like, he doesn't have to get skates. He doesn't have to go find ice. He doesn't have to get equipment.
It's more
He's
accessible.
like accessible. That's why
Yeah.
it's more popular.
But
That's why.
the same argument goes for soccer.
You want me to fight him, Ahmed? Wallah, bro. We're not fasting anymore.
Yeah. I can knock you out.
Yeah,
Like,
but
go
whatever.
soccer, like I would put that in the same category
Yeah,
as
yeah,
esports.
yeah. But I hate soccer so much.
Yeah,
I
that's
could
why I'd
never
put it in
stand
the same
one.
category as esports.
Yeah, I agree.
'Cause it's-
I hate soccer.
yeah.
It's not. I remember when I
See,
was
soccer's
like,
not a sport.
it is a sport, but I don't respect it.
Why?
I'll tell you
How do
what.
you not
I'll tell you.
respect
Can I
soccer?
finish? Can I finish? I'll tell you what.
No.
I've never played organized soccer in my life ever.
Okay, so you don't have an
Can I
opinion.
finish?
Yeah.
So once I went to college in Fort McMurray, and then I was studying, and then they were like my buddies there. They were like, "Hey, we're having soccer practice, and we're down a player. Do you want to come play with us?" Then I'm like, "Okay." And then the coach was like, to the other team, they're like, "Hey, man, he never played soccer before, so go easy on him." And I took a slight to that, and I played as hard as I possibly could. By the end of that practice, the coach came to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to join our team and a full scholarship?" I'm like, "No, I don't like soccer."
No, for me, I was like
soccer
in
is
minor
like-
soccer as a
That's what
kid.
I'm saying. It's like there's skill, obviously, but
For me,
I don't
I was like in
It's
minor
not
soccer
interesting.
as a kid, and I always got benched, so I just stopped liking
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No,
I was
definitely
never good
hockey.
at soccer.
Like if you ask me what sport I want to play, hockey is like ice
No,
hockey.
look,
Is
okay,
love
if
it.
we're gonna talk about respecting it as a sport, I think
You have to respect
like,
soccer.
we have to
man.
respect soccer as a sport. Like
How
it
much
is.
they run?
No,
don't
not
know
even
How much
about
time they
that.
play?
It's not even about that. Like they're incredible athletes, yes, but like also just in terms of global impact, I think soccer is hands down the largest sport in the world. I think
Mhm.
maybe the one
When
giving
did you come to Canada, by the way?
I was born in Canada.
Oh, yeah,
just
okay.
saying. Just go back to your country. What's it called? The one sport that actually might surprisingly be bigger or very close is cricket.
Yeah,
Cricket
cricket
is
is
huge,
huge.
man.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Baseball's where it's at. I love baseball. I miss baseball so much.
So
I was watching like a replay game yesterday. I was like, oh man, I miss
I
baseball.
like playing it, but watching it so boring.
Do
the
you
best.
think you can tell someone's personality by the sport they like?
Tell me, Ali, why don't you break me down a bit more?
I'm just actually Eunice is the psychologist.
Yeah,
kind of
what
thing. He
psychologist
has to ask
major?
his patients
Well,
questions and stuff. So
What does it tell you that I like baseball?
That
Like
you-
it's my. I could sit
that
down
you're
and watch a
just
full game of
boring.
baseball.
That you're really boring. But you also
Very
have
boring.
Boring
probably-
Bilal Abdu, right, Ali?
Yeah, boring.
Hey, what's that?
I don't know what
Shout
that
out to
is.
that old Twitter account.
Hey, who's boring Bilal Abdu? Go give him a follow, by the way. He's a very funny guy.
We don't know the password to it
We
anymore.
should revive that account. Yo, by
We
the-
tried.
Oh, did
We
you?
honestly, it's so the account was connected. If anyone wants to know, we made a fake Twitter page for Bilal Abdu. Anyways,
Because I don't have social media.
Yeah,
at all.
so
Like,
he's
I-
on social
I don't know
media.
how to do
But
that.
the account's number is under my old phone number, and we tried resetting the password, and we texted the guy that has my old phone number, and he's like, he's the meanest guy ever, and yeah, he doesn't answer us.
What a jerk.
What if I told
He's
you it
actually
was
so
me?
mean.
Should I
It's
go?
me,
Should I
I'm
go
like,
talk to him?
Yeah,
I-
I literally text him all the time, asking for my phone
I
number
literally
back.
messaged him like 5 times.
Yeah,
he
he's
dodged
so
me.
mean. He's so mean.
Wow, that's really rude.
Yeah.
I should call him.
I'm gonna call him actually.
Yeah.
Should we put him live right now?
Maybe,
I'm
maybe,
down.
maybe next episode we'll do a live call with him.
And you're live on DLP.
How does that
We
make
should
you
call our
feel?
number neighbors.
No,
No,
I-
that's
I-
not
I
there.
texted both of my number neighbors and none of them
yeah,
answered.
none of
me.
them responded.
No,
to
one
me.
of them answered being
What did you say?
very rude. I was like, "Hey, number neighbor, like my name is
If I
Mohammed."
get that, I'm like,
I was like trying to have a conversation, and like, he was so he did not care. He didn't understand what I was doing. He's like, "What are
maybe
you
he
doing?"
was like, I don't partake in this idiocy.
"Yeah."
If you guys were to get texted by your number neighbors,
Oh, I'd be like the jolliest guy on earth.
you would reply.
Oh,
yeah,
I would be so
100%.
happy.
I literally send them
I
a
would
picture of
never
myself.
reply.
I don't think I
Oh.
would reply.
Why? You're
Because
so
if it's
boring.
like-
Stupid.
It is.
Why is it stupid?
You're not like you're gonna get.
Oh
Right
my
now, you're
gosh,
like, what,
Oh my God.
13,
Here we go with,
14? How old are you now?
How old are you?
30. That's what I'm saying.
Are
When you
you?
turn, you're 22 right now, right?
Huh?
Straight up, hold on, Jet.
22 in August 25th,
Okay, watch us
August
get a lot
18.
of happy birthdays.
August 13.
I'm August 18.
August 18.
Anyways, when you
Ahmed's
when
August
you,
7.
when you get to
Everyone cared.
25, you're gonna start noticing a lot of things. You're gonna be like, this is stupid. I guarantee
No,
you.
Bilal, you're just boring.
I don't-
Okay,
see,
you're gonna get to 25.
I'm gonna
and
go
you're look
25.
back.
If someone texts me
and
saying,
you're
"Hey,
gonna-
number neighbor," I'm gonna say, "Hey, buddy."
Oh, okay.
How's it
All
going?
right. You know
No,
how many
I'm a
people
nice
said?
person.
All right.
No. I think Hamdan. I think you're gonna realize one day that you're gonna have priorities in life, and you just don't have time to have
You
meaningless
guys are being so
conversations.
serious right now. We're talking about a number neighbor.
Yeah, I
A
just
simple
Don't,
text
No, we're talking about
message.
stupid things.
No, I don't wanna-
i.e.,
I would, dude. I barely text my own friends. Why would I waste my time texting a random stranger?
that's why you never reply to me.
It's
Yeah,
just,
fuck it
it's
up.
just a little, "Hey, how's it going?" You
Don't
guys are
do
too
that.
serious.
Don't do that, man. Well, don't do that.
I'm doing it.
So what if you're
If someone
just
texts me, I
serial
won't do
killer?
it.
Serial
Okay,
killers.
well,
like,
you can't
hey,
find anything about me.
Hey, I'm outside your house.
Okay.
Oh well, I'm so tired today, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I think
just-
it's
we
like a
have low
post-Ram-
energy this
the
episode.
Post
A
Ramadan.
lot of low energy.
Oh, you know what it is? It's called the alkaline tide. Just
Oh
saying.
my God.
Tight shirts, dropping scientific.
Yeah.
If he starts talking about science, just skip right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
enjoy.
I don't want to put you guys to sleep.
Andre.
But basically, long story short, we're eating too much after Ramadan. And now we're lazy.
I've been fasting.
I fasted 2 days so far, but I took a break today.
I took a break today because I had to do a thing, but then inshallah tomorrow my last day, 6th
Oh
day
wow,
to
you
tomorrow.
got it done quick, mashallah.
Right after.
Yeah.
I went right
To be honest, I
after
think that's the best way to do it.
after Sunday. I'm watching Chernobyl now.
Boring.
You're boring, man. Okay, let's.
I love how it's taking you like 3 years to finish it now. Like, why is it taking you so long?
Because it's boring.
Because I have a life.
No, it's actually
It's
very
so
good.
slow,
No,
man. It's
honestly,
way
it's,
too
it's a
slow.
very good like
it's a sick
documentary.
documentary.
slash
Eh?
series, I
It's
guess.
sick.
It's very good though.
I love Soviet Union history. The reason I take so long is because, like, alhamdulillah, every weekend I'm working. Like, when I'm not working, I'm like, yeah, I guess I watch TV. I barely watch TV.
I watched like maybe the first. How many episodes is Chernobyl?
6?
I watched like the first
Something like
4.
I don't know.
They're not like no, I think they're like an hour long.
Hour long each one. It's sick though. It's so like interesting.
An hour
I
long
wish
of
they could
TV
do
is
more
too
like
long.
You literally watched all of
Game of
Breaking
Thrones.
Bad and Game of Thrones. And
Yeah, but that was like interesting.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't. Like, I liked it. I watched it, but
Breaking
it
Bad wasn't interesting.
Breaking Bad was interesting. But I was
Not
saying Game
better
of
than Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Game of Thrones is better.
Way better.
Honestly,
Better Call Saul. How do you like that so far?
I am
I-
so happy I did not waste my time with.
Ali, can you tell everyone
Game of
what you
Thrones.
bought over the weekend?
What did I buy over the weekend?
The Game of Thrones.
What did you buy?
Oh, I bought like a cool Game of Thrones flag.
A cool?
No,
does
it's
that
not
does
just,
that exist?
But
Yeah.
Oh.
it's signed by Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah,
By Kit Harington.
by the actor Kit Harington.
I actually feel so bad. For
And
you
it's
guys.
it's like it's a nice flag.
Yunus Anchat, this was such a bad idea. I think
Yo-
these guys on the Dean List podcast.
Bilal, remember those days when we had like all these hopes and dreams, like these guys are gonna like
yeah,
know,
Bayan.
grow up to
lot.
be so cool and
I
stuff.
still
but-
remember when Eunice used to be the guy with us, and then he left us. I don't know why you left. And then we had this
I left because I was
Say it.
so young.
Say it.
this
Say it.
annoying bald guy.
Oh,
came.
that's what you were going to say?
I miss when Eunice used to You know.
Bribe you guys with Boston pizza.
That was
Yeah.
my idea, though. Say the truth. Say the truth.
No, but what happened was, so when I was in high
He used
school,
to pick us up in his little white mini.
No, whose idea was it?
It's okay. You're only like what, 4 years older than us?
3
3?
years old. Yeah, I'm born in '95.
Wow.
You guys are such
Is that
kids.
what year were you born?
90.
87?
1990.
Or not?
1990. Wow.
September 5th, 1990.
Huh.
I'm a boomer.
So
as they
were
say
you
in the
there during the
streets.
civil rights movement?
I was at the speech. I was handing the
Okay, you're having the flyers.
the flyers. Like, check it out, guys.
You had like an afro.
I was gonna say something, but I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about how you used to take us to Boston Pizza.
Yeah, back when you guys were innocent.
Yeah.
You know,
Whose
like-
idea? Say the story.
Oh yeah. So basically, I was in high school and
And you kicked Ali in the face.
that's later on. We can talk about that another
Yeah,
time.
if you guys want to hear that story, just let us know.
Maybe
Ali
next
endured the most out of the group straight
Oh,
up.
yeah,
Like,
honestly,
Oh, yeah.
I
between
was
me and Yunus.
honestly the group's punching bag.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was.
Between
It
Eunice
was-
kicking him and Bilal.
It wasn't always like it wasn't physical
Thanks, Ali.
violence. And it was all accidental, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Oh my god.
Are you showing us
Okay,
your
tell
taekwondo? Just say the story.
the story.
I
Tell the
gotta
story.
make this-
Tell the story.
I
Look,
gotta- okay,
Kino,
kicking story?
Look,
No, the Boston Pizza one.
Okay, so we'll start with that. How much time? What time?
We're
is
like
it?
almost a wrap. We have to wrap it up real quick.
Why? What if they like listening to me?
That-
Yeah, no,
yeah.
they like listening to me. We're
no,
good.
we're good.
Okay, so basically, the Boston Pizza thing started with. So when I went to high school, I left the Islamic. So I was in Islamic school my whole life. I went to public school for high school. I went to one where it was known where you pretty much cause trouble. If you want to cause trouble and do bad things, you go to that school because no one's gonna catch
Are you
you.
gonna drop the name?
The school that I went to, sure. I went to Ross Shepherd.
Don't go there, kids.
Yeah, don't go there unless you have a really good supporting group with you. Like, don't go. Anyways, it's a good school though. Like in terms of academics and sports, it's a great school. But I'm saying in terms of protecting yourself from doing.
Can you get to
bad
the
things.
story? I hate when you do this. Get to the story.
Okay,
We don't
fine.
need this whole thing.
It's like the inner father mode in me. Whatever. So Bilal and a group of like 5 other boys, we used to meet up every week. Every Thursday night was our Boston Pizza week, and we'd go there and spend so much time there and just chill. And it was a weekly thing. We would never miss it, no matter what. And we started pretty much meeting more than once a week, but not always at Boston Pizza. We'd like have Friday night hockey at the school, right?
That was
and
the
then
best.
We
Oh,
started that. FNL.
And then
Friday
Eunice
Night
canceled
Lights.
it on us. But anyway.
I did not cancel it. I was forced to cancel it.
You literally yelled at us to get on the wall.
Yeah, because
And you started walking back and forth like you were a dictator. I still remember, and your hands were like behind your back.
You know what's funny? You know what's
I don't
funny?
remember that.
You don't remember when
Oh,
he
no,
like
I
yelled at
remember-
us?
Dude, you know what's funny? I actually had my phone in my pocket recording the whole thing because I wanted to hear it after.
Literally a dictator.
No, what
Okay,
happened
continue the story. No, don't go off this tangent. Finish the story about Boston Pizza.
was... So anyways,
This guy.
Boston Pizza was like what kind of got us together. So because it's a social thing, right? So you're
Yeah.
meeting each other every week, you're getting to know each other better and stuff. And naturally, you're going to become closer friends. And honestly, like,
It worked.
the group of us became like brothers, like literally
to this
to this day 100%. But like literally, like we would see each other 3 to 4 times a week, every single week, never
Yeah.
miss, you know.
Play
Always
baseball.
group chats, like we'd play baseball together. Honestly, we'd like meet up for sports and stuff.
Which honestly we should do soon. A
I'm
baseball
done,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Start baseball.
So then basically we decided to do something similar for the boys younger than us. So you were
Hey,
the
guys.
unfortunate people that were chosen for.
And as a result, every Saturday you guys come to my house and record a podcast.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
how this all started. Thanks, Boston Pizza.
One day I got kicked in the face. The other day I'm recording a podcast.
Okay, no, you know what? I'm gonna clear this up right now.
Ali,
before I
one day
think
you're gonna
some-
kick a kid in the face. It
Look,
just goes
look.
down.
Hey,
No, no, no,
how about before Eunice clears it up? Everyone search on YouTube Sweet Chin Music, and that's what happened.
Okay, no. What happened was I was still in Taekwondo. Oh no, I was not in Taekwondo at the time. So I did Taekwondo.
You're a black
for-
belt.
Yeah, I did it for 5 years. So I got my black belt. Alhamdulillah, like it was fun. I actually honestly think it was the greatest thing ever. But I remember once we were outside the mosque and we were doing our talk and stuff. And then after our talk, we would like either play soccer or just do something for fun. So then Ali's like, yo, Eunice, like, he was like play fighting or whatever, like pretending to box me or something like that. Then he's like, yo, show me this kick, like a spinning hook kick or whatever.
I don't remember asking for that.
I don't remember him asking either.
I remember being asked to show.
Literally, Ali had consent.
I feel like
to get
you
kicked in the
literally like
face.
you're like, yo, I'm gonna show you guys this kick.
So, anyways, Ali was far from me. Okay, what
wasn't.
does he do while I'm in the air spinning? I can't see where Ali's face is. He puts his face forward, and then like the second I felt my foot touch his face, I like stopped the kick, obviously. But
No, you didn't.
Well, clearly you didn't stop it enough
Where did he
because
get you in the
I
chin?
like literally right on the
I
chin,
remember,
and
you
I
were
just
bleeding.
went. I just
No, he was
fell
not
back.
bleeding. He was
Weren't
not
you
bleeding.
cut?
I had a little, like just like a
It
little.
was because you went home and your mom
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
It was
No,
like a bruise.
Yeah, I went home. I'm like, yeah, mom, I just fell.
I just want to say to Amti and Ammi, I'm very sorry. It was a complete accident, and it's
Did they listen to
They
this
probably
podcast?
still have no idea
I
what
don't
happened
know.
that day.
No, I don't think it's really just a joke between like the guys that we always used to joke about.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But no, it was funny. Now Eunice one day probably just kicked my kids in the face.
Well, hey, at least you have a cool story to tell your kids.
Actually, no. How about I'll kick your kids in the face. Just,
Do it.
just to make it even.
He's like, hey, I'm Ali.
I'll kick little Ali Junior in the face.
I just wanted to say
Wait.
hello to Bkhair,
If you want him to be Ali, we gotta get that 1,000 likes first.
Yeah, can you guys please go like our third post on Instagram?
They still know what picture.
I think we need like 900, like 70 more likes. So we're almost there.
Yeah,
Come on, if Joe Rogan could do it, we could do it more.
yeah. Well, whatever. We'll take a spot on YouTube.
Yeah.
All of his listeners will listen to us, right, guys?
Yeah,
Sure.
All of our 6 listeners. Let's go, boys.
Hey, I love our 6 listeners.
Yeah, our 6 listeners are great, but like,
They're actually the best people ever.
By the way, speaking of listeners, what was I gonna say? Last week I was promoting my sister's book.
Oh yeah.
I accidentally said that he sold 700 copies. She asked me to reply that it's not 700 copies, but they raised $700.
Oh.
Wow, Bilal, you don't even know what your sister's doing.
I literally ignore 80 to 95% of the things they say.
You're a good brother, eh?
Like, right, Bilal? Yeah, sure. That's
Honestly, I have that bad habit though, where like I'd be talking to someone, I start daydreaming mid-conversation, then I'm like, and then like sometimes someone catches my bluff, like, are you saying because like you know what I'm talking about, or just like tell me to like stop
I do
talking.
that so much on the podcast.
It's so bad on the podcast. Wow.
Like I'll re-listen to the podcast and I'm just like I don't remember them ever saying that.
Wow. Unreal. But yeah, do you guys daydream a lot
yeah. Well, in class a lot.
in class?
Honestly, in class it's like you have to.
my mind's always on. Like, I don't daydream. I'm a straight shooter.
You're so
Wow,
focused.
man.
Yeah, I'm
Mashallah.
sure.
Wow.
Oh.
You're so cool, Bilal Abdu. I wish I could be more like you.
Everybody wishes they could be like me. The
Honestly,
place would be a better.
Not
The world
me.
would be a better place.
I don't want to be 70.
Do you guys
years
ever
old.
talk to yourselves?
I do.
What did you just say?
I said I don't want to be 70 years old.
You know, like before you're about to do something, you just look at yourself in the mirror and you just go,
Hey.
you can do this.
Failure's not an option.
Failure is not an option.
Okay.
You don't do that? You guys don't look in your mirror before you go somewhere?
Never.
You know what I do?
What?
Like every morning.
Why?
I'm serious. Like right
This
now,
will
I
be our
can't
next
do
poll,
it.
by the way.
Oh my god.
You know what I do? Like I'm awake 4 a.m. Like when I get to the gym, like from here to the gym, I'm like blasting the sheets, just high on pre-workout. It's the best feeling.
You
I
get
miss that
high?
so bad. Yeah, man. You
Oh.
get that buzz. Like
Wow.
people know what I'm talking about.
No one.
You're here.
All I
your
know
ears are
about
heating
pre-workout
up.
is like it's a direct one-way ticket to the bathroom, and it's not a fun like trip to the
Okay,
bathroom.
I've never happened to me, but sure.
Oh my god.
Maybe you're not taking it right.
No, I'm taking.
Maybe you're
it
not
right.
taking it at all.
What are you talking about? If you open his pantry, all there is it's 7 bottles of pre-workout.
And
Could be lying.
BCAAs.
BCAAs, glutamine, I don't know, bunch of stuff.
Roids.
Basically branched chain amino acids. They're the building blocks of the protein in our body. Just saying.
That's why I take them.
Eunice, what are you taking in school again?
I don't know.
Are you like at med school or something?
No, I'm dropping out.
So you could just like come with your facts.
No,
What?
Eunice said he's gonna be full-time DLP. He's gonna
Yeah, I might have
drop
to.
out of med school.
We lost another 6 followers. No, we have to start from scratch.
Man, all
Like,
6
what?
of
He's
them.
not here just.
Whatever.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I think.
All
That
right,
was a fantastic episode.
boys. You know, we started off seriously. You know, thoughts and prayers to all the people oppressed around the world, and you know, hope everybody stay safe out there. If you see something wrong, call it out. Don't let it go by. And you know, signing off, boys. I love you guys. We'll
So-
talk to you later.
Feeling is
pleasure.
not mutual.
Bye.
I love how I say this every week. Nobody says I love you right back.
I love you, Bilal.
Thank you, Eunice.
Feeling is not mutual.
I could tell.
All right.
All right, boys, guys, listeners, males and females, brothers, sisters. We'll talk to you guys later.